Emma, this shopping mall is huge. I think we have been walking for an hour. My feet are getting tired.
I know. It is one of the biggest malls in the area, but we have found some good deals. Are you ready to head home soon?
Almost. But before we go, I really need to find a restroom. I have been looking for a sign, but I cannot see one anywhere.
You are right. They are not always easy to find in a big place like this. We will have to ask someone for directions.
That is what I was afraid of. I am still not very confident asking for things in English. Also, what is the right word to use? I have heard many different words.
That is an excellent question, David. There are several words you can use, and they are all correct, but some are more common in different places.
Okay, what are my options? I want to use the most common and polite word.
In the United States, the most common and polite word is restroom. You can also use bathroom, but some people think that word is for a room in a house. In the United Kingdom, people usually say toilets or the loo, and in a more formal context, like on an airplane, you might hear the word lavatory. For today, let's use restroom.
Okay, restroom it is. I will remember that. Now, who should I ask? This place is so crowded. Can I just ask anyone?
You could, and most people would be happy to help. But the best person to ask is usually someone who works here. They will know the mall layout very well.
So, I should look for someone who is working in one of the stores?
A store employee is a great choice. You could also look for a security guard, a cleaner, or someone working at an information desk. Information desks are specifically there to help people with questions like this.
I see a woman working in that clothing store over there. She does not look too busy. How should I get her attention politely?
The most important phrase is always, "Excuse me." You should walk up to her, make eye contact, smile, and say, "Excuse me."
And then I should wait for her to respond.
Yes, she will likely turn to you and say something like, "Yes, how can I help you?" Then you can ask your question. Starting with "excuse me" is the key to being polite and respectful.
I know who to ask and how to get their attention. Now, what is the best way to ask the actual question? I do not want my sentence to be confusing.
The simplest questions are often the best. You could ask, "Excuse me, where is the nearest restroom?"
Where is the nearest restroom? That is very clear and easy to remember. Are there any other ways to ask?
Yes, there are a few other very polite options. You could say, "Could you please tell me where the restrooms are?" Using "could you please" is very soft and polite.
I like that one. Could you please tell me where the restrooms are? What if I need a specific one for men or women?
You can also be specific. You could say, "I'm looking for the men's room," or A woman could ask, I'm looking for the ladies' room. These are also very common and perfectly understood.
Let's practice one more time. I will pretend you are the store employee. Excuse me,
Yes, how can I help you?
could you please tell me where the nearest restroom is?
That was perfect. Very clear and very polite. Now, the next challenge is understanding the answer she gives you.
You are right. That is the next challenge. I am not very good at understanding directions.
Let's practice that too. I will be the store employee, and I will give you some simple directions. Are you ready to listen carefully?
Yes, I am ready.
Of course. Just go straight down this main hallway. You will walk past the big shoe store and the electronics store. Keep going until you see the food court.
Okay, let me try to understand. You said, go straight down this main hallway. Go straight means do not turn left or right, correct?
Exactly. Just continue in the same direction you are already going. A hallway, or a corridor, is the long, open path we are standing in now.
And I will walk past some stores. Past means I will see them on my side as I am walking, but I should not turn there.
You have got it. You are going beyond those stores. You keep going straight until you see the food court. The food court is the big area with all the restaurants.
Okay, so I go straight down the hallway, past the shoe store, until I see the food court. What happens when I get to the food court?
When you get to the food court, you will turn left. You will see a large fountain in the middle. Walk towards the fountain.
So, not straight anymore. Now I have to turn left. That is an easy one to understand.
Yes, turn left or turn right are the most common direction words. So at the food court, you will change your direction to the left.
And you said I will see a fountain. A fountain is a landmark, right?
That's right. People often use landmarks to make directions easier to follow. A landmark is an object or a place that is easy to see and recognize. Other common landmarks in a mall could be the escalators, the elevators, or a specific well-known store.
So, using landmarks helps me know I am going the right way. That is very helpful.
It is. So the direction is to turn left and walk towards the fountain. What do you think comes next?
I have gone straight and I have turned left. Now I need to know the final location of the restroom.
Exactly. The final part of the directions will probably use prepositions of place to tell you the exact location. Let's continue the role play.
Okay, I am ready.
When you are at the fountain, look to your right. The restrooms are on your right next to the bookstore. You will see a big sign.
Okay, so on your right means on the right side of my body. And you used the phrase next to. What does that mean?
Next to means immediately beside something. So, you will see the bookstore, and right beside it, you will find the entrance to the restrooms.
That is very clear. What are some other words like next to?
People might say the restroom is between two places. For example, between the bookstore and the cinema. They might also say it is opposite the fountain, which means it is on the other side. Or they might say it is at the end of the hall.
This is a lot of information to remember. Go straight, turn left, look for it on the right, next to a store. I am worried I will forget the directions as soon as I walk away.
That is a very common problem. A great way to help you remember and to make sure you understood correctly is to confirm the directions.
Confirm them? You mean I should repeat them back to the person?
Yes, but you can do it in a very simple way. You do not need to repeat every single word. You can summarize the main points.
How would I do that? What would I say?
After the person gives you the directions, you can say, "Okay, let me just make sure I have it right." Then you can say, "So I go straight to the food court, turn left, and the restrooms are on the right next to the bookstore." Is that correct?
That is a brilliant idea. It gives the person a chance to correct me if I misunderstood something.
Exactly. They might say, "Yes, that's it." Or they might say, "Oh, no, turn right, not left." It is a very polite and effective way to avoid getting lost.
Confirming the directions is a great strategy. I feel much more confident now. But what if I follow the directions perfectly, but when I get to the restroom, there is a problem? For example, what if it is closed for cleaning?
That is another good scenario to prepare for. Sometimes you will see a sign on the door that says closed for cleaning or out of order.
Out of order. Does that mean it is broken?
Yes, out of order means that something, like a toilet or a sink, is not working correctly. So you cannot use it.
So what would I do then? I would have to find another one.
That's right. You would have to go back and ask someone for directions again. But this time, your question would be a little different.
How would I ask?
You could find another employee and say, "Excuse me, I'm looking for a restroom. The one by the food court is out of order. Is there another one nearby?"
That is very clear. It explains the situation and asks for a new solution. It is good to be prepared for these kinds of small problems.
Okay, so I am prepared if the restroom is closed. Are there any other common situations I should know about?
There is one more that can sometimes happen, especially in smaller cafes or gas stations, but sometimes in malls, too. Sometimes the restroom is kept locked.
Locked. Why would they lock the restroom?
They usually do it to make sure that only paying customers use the facilities. So, to get in, you might need a special key or a numeric code for the keypad on the door.
And where would I get the key or the code?
You would have to ask an employee at the counter. Before you walk all the way to the restroom, it can be a good idea to ask when you are ordering your coffee or paying for your items.
What would be the right phrase to ask?
You could simply ask, "Do I need a key for the restroom?" Or, "Is there a code for the restroom?" The employee will then either give you the key or write down the code for you on your receipt. It is just something to be aware of.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I am now an expert on finding restrooms. It is funny how a simple task has so much language and culture around it.
It is true. Everyday tasks are the best way to practice a new language. Let's do a quick review. What are some different words for restroom?
I remember bathroom, toilets, the loo, and lavatory.
Excellent. And what is the most polite way to get someone's attention?
Always start with a smile and "Excuse me."
Perfect. And what should you do after you receive the directions?
I should summarize them and repeat them back to the person to confirm that I understood correctly. That was my favorite tip.
It is a great one. You are completely ready now. So, based on the directions from our role play, where do we need to go?
We need to go straight down this hallway until we see the food court. Then we turn left, and the restrooms will be on our right next to the bookstore. Is that correct?
Yes, that is exactly correct. You are leading the way.